This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself. Today we have a Thermador double oven door that we're going to be taking off and then cleaning the inside glass and then putting it back on. This will also work really well for the Bosch oven and double oven. So first thing, we're going to open the door and pull down on this latch on the left and right hand side. I'm using a screwdriver to help me kind of get in to get the top of that latch. So I'm going to push it all the way down and then I'll bring the door up almost to where it closes, and I'm going to kind of support it against my hip because it's a bit heavy, and then I'm going to lift up a little bit and pull back, and that's going to bring it off of the hinges. And I'll go ahead and bring this door over to the side where I can work on it, and I'm going to turn it over so that I can get to the bottom. If this video is helping you, please consider pressing down in the lower right hand corner of your screen the subscribe button, and that really helps our channel. Thanks a lot. So we're just going to flip it over so we can get to some screws on the bottom, and we have 3 of the silver ones, and then we have 2 black screws on the left and 2 black screws on the right that we need to remove, and then we're going to be able to pull the door apart pretty easily. This one had some polenta blew up in the upper oven and poured down into the inside glass. There's no way you can really clean it unless you take the door apart. So we're going to use a Torx 15 screw driver to take out the screws. And again, there's 2 black ones on the right, and I'm going to put them up on the countertop in the same order I took them out so I don't get them mixed up. 2 black ones here on the right side, and then there's 3 silver ones, one on the right, one in the middle, and one on the left. Again, I'm just putting them in the same order that I took them out. You can get these Torx bits at any hardware store or on Amazon. And Torx 15 and Torx 20 are really common, but this one's a Torx 15. So I took off the last silver one. Then there's 2 black ones at the end. And again, this will be very similar on Bosch ovens and Siemens ovens too. They're all kind of made by the same company. But this one, what we're doing today, is Thermador. So now, once we have those screws off, we're going to lay this down so the silver part or the front part of the door is facing the ground or on a cabinet. And then we have to take out a few more screws that are black screws also that are Torx 15. There's one here, this is on the upper right hand side, and one on the lower right hand side. I'm also kind of putting those on the counter in the same way that I took them out. Then here at the end of the video, we'll just show you how, once we get this cleaned up, we'll show you how you can put the door back on really easily. It's interesting, there's not many videos out there that show how to remove and put back on the Thermador oven door. So now we have those screws out, we can separate these 2 halves. And here at the top, this black section is slipped underneath a little bit of the silver section or the front section. So we have to lift up here at the bottom, and then we have to pull back to have it slip out from underneath the top of that silver section. So we're lifting up on the bottom, and then we're going to pull back at the top by about 1/4 of an inch, and that should free up the 2 halves. So we're lifting up from the back. And if this is helping you out, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Thank you. So we got the black cover off. This is some heat insulation, and sometimes it'll break. You can use a little bit of glue to put that back on. Now we're taking out these 2 Torx 15 screws. These are plates that are holding the inner glass in position. It's really easy to do. So I'm putting those little screws off to the side in the same order I took them out. So I've got these two on the right, and then I can slip this plate off that's holding the glass in place. So come over and take out these two on the left-hand side. You might find that there's some grease and gook that builds up over time. This was actually a brand new oven, but when the polenta blew up and went everywhere, they had to get it cleaned. So I'm taking that little plate off on the right side. Take the plate off on the left side, and now I can lift the big glass plate out. It's actually a aluminum frame or steel frame with two plates of glass. And the one on the inside is where it's dirty and hard to get to. So I'm going to bring that over and lay it down so that the dirty part is exposed to me so I can clean it. And here's the inside of the front of the oven glass. And this stuff was really kind of baked on, so I scraped off some of it with a brush, kind of like an old nylon toothbrush. And then the next thing I used is a sponge with a abrasive end. I got it wet, and let the stuff kind of dissolve a little bit, and then use some abrasion and just water. This could be done with grease too. The next thing we'll do is just use paper towels to just get off as much of in this case, the polenta, but it could be grease. Remove as much as we can first. And then lastly, we'll just use some Windex. We're doing this on all the glass surfaces. I've seen really bad grease before where I've actually used carburetor cleaner to get it off because it was on there was so thick. But the Windex is doing a really good job. So spray a little bit on this one. And do want to do a really clean job and inspect it real well before you put it back together, because you don't want to get it all back together and then realize that there's still one part that's dirty. Get a little more on this side. So most oven doors, this is very similar. There's like 3, maybe even 4 plates of glass to allow you to look into the oven, but give it really good thermal insulation. Get that all nice and clean. And we're going to put that big section of glass back into the frame. Just want to be really careful that you don't break the glass. Just take your time. Putting that glass assembly back in. Everything's super clean now. We can go ahead and put the little metal plates back on that hold the glass in position. Each one of those has 2 Torx 15 screws that hold it on. So I'm just doing this on the kitchen floor. You could put this up on the counter. I've seen a lot of people put a blanket on their wooden kitchen table and they'll set it down so it's a little bit easier to work on. But the only tool you really need to do the job besides the cleaning equipment is just a driver with the Torx 15 bit.
So now we're putting the black piece back on. We're getting it out over the hinges first, and then we're going to slip it in at the top underneath. The black section will go underneath the chrome or silver section at the top. So it has to slip under a little lip there. So I'm doing that right now. I'm going to slip it underneath that lip, and then I'll go ahead and make sure the black section is sitting securely against the silver section, and I'll add those 4 Torx 15 screws that are holding the black section on. All right, now we're adding in those screws here. There's 2 black ones we're putting in here, and they're also responsible for holding the hinge assembly in position. So it's really important that you line up the screws and get them in there nice and secure. Got 2 black ones here on the right hand side. So again, this is the bottom of the door facing us now. You can see the hinges there. We got all the screws in. So we're just flipping it back over the correct side up. We're going to lift it up and put it back into the oven. So be careful, it's pretty heavy. I like to put it against my leg so I have a little more leverage. So I'm going to just slowly put those forks of the hinge back into the oven cavity. Just take your time here. Slip them in slowly. See, I got the door at an angle. Push it in as much as you can at the bottom, and then go ahead and let it come down to 90 degrees. And then you can get these latches and push them back up toward the oven cavity. And now you've got a really nice oven again, nice and clean, and the oven door will work great. So much for watching our video, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance, and also click the little bell notification button so we can send you weekly videos on all the different ways of fixing appliances around your home and saving you lots of money. So thanks again for watching, and please also press the like button for our video if this was helpful to you. Feel free to contact me at the email listed below, which is scottthefixitguy@yahoo.com, with any of your questions. And also, if you need to have a FaceTime meeting with me or a Zoom meeting, you can click on one of the links below in the description, and we can set up a 15-minute or 30-minute video conference where we can work on your appliance problem. So thanks again for all your support and for watching the video.